All right, tomorrow's quiz, guys, there's 10 questions, all right, 10 questions. 7 of the 10 are going to involve like multiplication, division, and simplifying. And then there's going to be 3 adding and subtracting. So there's 3 different like sections. One section is going to say simplify. Simplify just means make smaller. When you are told to simplify, you want to factor everything first. And then anything that is exactly the same on the top and bottom, what can we do? Cancel out, all right? So just take your time. If I look at something like number 23, look in your numerator. What can you take out of 6y and 9y squared? Take out a 3y. So when you take out your 3y, what are you left with? Good. 2 plus 3y, right? Okay. Look at your denominator. What can you take out of 12y plus 8? 4, okay. When you take out a 4, what are you left with? 3y plus 2, all right? Do you have any parenthesis that looks exactly the same? Kind of, right? Can I rewrite the top one as 3y plus 2? Yes, I can do that because it's addition. If it was subtraction, you can't just switch their places. But you absolutely can do that with addition. So now, guys, do you have something on the top and the bottom that's exactly the same? Cross them off. So what do you have left in your numerator? 3y. And then what's in your denominator? 4. Perfect. That's it. Simplifying means go ahead and factor, and everything will, not everything, but things will factor. You're not going to have any that don't factor. So simplify means factor first, and then cross off what they have in common. So let's look at number 24. Look at 24. What can I take out? A 4y. Okay. When I take out 4y, what am I left with? Write it underneath so you can see it. I'm going to take out a 4y. What's 4y divided by 4y? 1. Okay. Minus 2y. Okay. And then on the bottom, what can I take out? A 5. And I'm left with 2y minus 1. All right, this is a little trickier, guys. Are those 2 parentheses exactly the same? But do they look kind of similar? All right, so watch what we can do here. If I rewrite this top, when I rewrite my binomial, what does it look like? Perfect, Nick. Negative 2y plus 1, all right, over 5 times 2y minus 1. All right, now we can do one more thing. If I lead with a negative, right? I lead with a negative. What can I do? I can take it out, right? Can I divide both of these by a negative 1? Yeah. So if I divide by a negative 1, I'm going to take the negative 1 out. I'm just going to stick it in front of the 4y. And when I divide that, negative 2 divided by negative 1 becomes 2y. 1 divided by negative 1 becomes minus 1 over 5 times 2y minus 1. Now are they the same? Yes. All right, so when you cross them off, you're left with just negative 4y over 5. When you have 2 parentheses that look kind of the same, like they did here, and it's a plus sign, you can just switch their orders. When there's a minus sign in between, what that's telling you is, oh, I have to factor out a negative. Once you do that, when you take that negative out, what happens to the signs? They switch. So that's how that happens. All right, look at 25. I have a trinomial. Think about when you factor. What's the first thing we look for? GCF. Then I say trinomial. That means 3 terms. Can I take these 3 terms and somehow put them into 2 binomials, 2 parentheses? So I'm going to multiply a times c. 1 times negative 5. All right, what's going to go in the front of each of my parentheses? X, good. What are the factors of negative 5 that multiply to give me negative 5 but add to give me a 4? Plus 5 minus 1. Perfect. Now let's look at the bottom. Multiply a times c. 15. All right, what's going to go in the front of each parenthesis? An x. Good. What's going to multiply to give me 8, multiply to give me 15, but add to give me 8? Nick said 3 and 5. Do you guys have anything that is exactly the same on the top and the bottom? X plus 5. So what's your answer? X minus 1 over x plus 3. Very good. Look at 26. Again, no GCF, so it's a trinomial. A times C. What are the factors of negative 20 that multiply to give me a negative 20, but add to give me a positive 8? 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. Perfect. X plus 10, X minus 2. Now on the bottom, A times C. What can I multiply to get 10, but add to get 11? 1 and 10. X plus 1, X plus 10. Now, do you see anything that is exactly the same on the top and the bottom? The X plus 10s. So you're left with on the top, X minus 2 over X plus 1. All right, very rarely, guys, when you're asked to simplify or multiply and divide, do you factor and nothing cancels? So if you're kind of confused on, oh, I don't know what signs I should use, you can use what you've already factored to kind of give you a guide. Like once we factored up here, X plus 5, X minus 1, and then you guys down here were like, oh, it's going to be a 5 and a 3. More than likely, it's going to be the same sign as the top, so something cancels out. So just kind of use that as a guide. All right, you're going to have the next section. It's all going to be jumbled, but if it says to multiply or divide, guys, when you multiply or divide, first of all, it's multiplication. We just factor everything. With division, when you start off with a division problem, what do you have to do first? You have to keep, change, flip. Once you have your division, you keep, change, flip, or if it's multiplication to start off with, you just factor everything first. You just factor, and then cancel out what they have in common. Division, keep, change, flip, and then you just factor because it becomes a multiplication problem. So for something like 34, we're going to keep, change, flip, right? We're going to keep R over R minus 1. I'm going to change my division to multiplication, and then I'm going to flip. This becomes R squared minus 1 over R squared. And now we factor. Is there anything in this top left that I can take out here? No, it just stays as R. Bottom left, can I take anything out of R minus 1? No, it just stays. Bottom right, R squared is just going to stay. And then what can I change R squared minus 1 into? R plus 1 and R minus 1, difference of squares. So now do you have any parenthesis on the top and the bottom that's exactly the same? Yes, the R minus 1s, right? Do you have any letters that are the same? I have an R on top and I have 2 of them on the bottom. Would one of them cancel? Yeah, this R here will cancel with 1 here. So what are we left with? We're left with R plus 1 on top over R on the bottom. Can I cancel those R's out? Why not? You're right, why not? Because it's attached to the 1. That's why I keep things in parentheses. You cannot just randomly cancel stuff out. All right, again, look at the next problem. What's in the middle? What sign's in the middle? Division. So we have to keep, change, flip. We have to do that first. So I'm going to go ahead and write x squared minus 4 over 12. I change my division to multiplication, and then I flip. So 2x plus 4. Guys, what's another way I could write 2 minus x? Not negative 2x. I like what you're thinking. Yeah, no, okay. You can't put them together. But if I flip the order, what would it look like? Negative x, God bless you, plus 2. I like to have the x's first. I always like to do that. That will also help you when you see what you need to factor out. So now let's go. Top left, what can we factor? What can I change x squared minus 4 into? Perfect. X plus 2, x minus 2. It's our difference of squares. Can I do anything with 12? Nope, just leave it. Okay. Now let's go over to the right-hand side right here. What can I take out of negative x plus 2? We don't like when things are negative, right? So what can I take out? Okay, I'm going to take out a negative 1, and then that's going to leave me with, when I divide this by negative 1, what does that leave me with? X minus 2, good. And then on my top right, what can I take out of 2x plus 4? I can take out a 2, and I'm left with x plus 2. Do you see any parentheses, guys, that are exactly the same on top and bottom? Yes. What do you see? Both of these x plus 2's are on top. What's exactly the same, one on top, one on the bottom? X minus 2 and x minus 2. Okay. Do you see anything else that you could cancel? Yeah, this 2 right here could cancel with this 12, can't it? 2 becomes, 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 12 how many times? 6 times. So guys, what are we left with? What do we have on the top? God bless you. How many x plus 2's do we have, though? We have 2 of them, right?
I thought you just had to write 1 since there was 2 of them.
No, since there's 2 of them, we have to. So you could write it like this. Okay. Or you could write x plus 2 times x plus 2. And then what do you have left on the bottom? 6 times negative 1, so negative 6. Something is always going to cancel out, always. But again, if you get to a problem like this when it's written backwards, I would rewrite it. Because that'll remind you, oh, wait a second, I have to go ahead and take out a negative. All right, what kind of a problem do we have here in 36? Multiplication. So all I'm going to do is factor, 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 factor. I don't like to write t's, guys, so I'm going to change everything to x's, okay? So I'm going to start here in the top left. What can I factor? X squared minus x minus t. If I multiply a times c, I'm looking for factors of negative 6 that multiply to give me negative 6, but add to give me a negative 1. 1 and 6, 3 and 2. I need to multiply to get negative 6, but add to get a negative 1. Yep, x, excuse me, minus 3, x plus 2. So now I'm going to go down here in the bottom. What can I multiply to get 9, but add to get 6? X plus 3, good. Now over here, bottom right, x squared, t squared, whatever, minus 4. X minus 2, x plus 2, great. X minus 2, x plus 2. And then can I do anything with t plus 3 or x plus 3? Nope, so I'm just going to rewrite it. Now, anything that's in a numerator that's exactly the same as something in the denominator can cancel. So what do we see? Okay, x plus 2 and an x plus 2. Gotcha. What else? An x plus 3 and an x plus 3. All right, what else? Anything? Anything else exactly the same? No? So what do we have left on the top? X minus 3, good. And then what do we have left on the bottom? X plus 3 and x minus 2. Great. Good job. What kind of a problem do we have? Actually, don't even worry about it. You're not going to have any with double letters. Don't worry about it. That's just going to get confusing. Look at 38. Look at 38. What do I have to be really aware of with 38? Okay. There, I do see a GCF, but what is the sign in the middle of these two fractions? It's division. So what do I have to do first? I have to keep, change, flip. You guys have got to remember to do that. If you don't, then you're going to get the problem wrong, the whole thing. So we're going to keep x squared minus 14x plus 49 over x squared minus 49. I'm going to change my division sign to multiplication, and then I'm going to flip. So this becomes x plus 7 over 3x minus 21. And now we're going to factor, 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 factor. Look at the top left right here. If I multiply a times c, what are the factors of 49 that are going to multiply to give me 49, but add to give me a negative 14? Perfect. X minus 7, x minus 7. So now we're in the bottom left. X squared minus 49. How can I rewrite that? X plus 7, x minus 7. Great. Now I'm going to come over to the bottom right. Nick told us he saw GCF. What do you have there? What can you take out? Of 3 and 21. 3, perfect. So when I take out my 3, I'm left with x minus 7. And then on the top right, can I do anything with x plus 7? No, it's already factored. It's already as fully simplified as possible. So now we have a whole bunch of x plus 7s, x minus 7s. Anything that is exactly the same on the top can cross off with anything that's exactly the same on the bottom. So what do we see? Okay, an x plus 7 here and an x plus 7 here. Okay. One of the x minus 7s with one of the x minus 7s. What else? Another x minus 7 with another x minus 7. So when everything cancels out in the numerator, what are you left with? 1, because everything canceled. And then what's on the bottom? A 3. So that's a type problem where almost everything canceled, and that's fine. Question, babe? It doesn't matter, just as long as it's one from the top, one on the bottom. It could be right on top of each other. Nope. Just as long as one's in the numerator, one's in the denominator. Good question. All right, so there's a majority of your quiz. There's 7 out of the 10 questions is just factoring, crossing off what they have in common, and then remembering when you're dividing, you have to keep, change, flip. Then we go to adding and subtracting. When you have adding and subtracting, what do you have to have before you can combine them? Common denominator. When you already have a common denominator, it's perfect. I like to go ahead and look at my denominators, and I put them in parentheses so I remember they are stuck together. Guys, your numerators are also stuck together. Remember that. Can you factor anything out of the bottom? You simplified it all. No. What do you notice about the bottoms? They're the same, okay? So that's good. But what do you also notice is in the middle of these two fractions? There's a minus sign. I like to change the minuses to a plus and stick that negative right there, because what am I going to have to do with that negative? I have to distribute it. This is where we make a mistake, is we don't distribute it to both terms. So since I have a common denominator, I'm just going to rewrite it one time, x plus 2 on the bottom. And then I'm going to deal with my numerator. I'm going to write it all together. You guys don't have to do this. You could do it within the problem, but I'm going to write it all together. So I have x minus 1. Then we distribute. So minus x plus 4. Everybody with me? Yes? Okay, so my denominator stays the same. Once we realize or we get our common denominator, you just keep rewriting it. So now we're going to combine like terms. I have a positive x and a negative x. What happens to your x's? They cancel, okay. And then I have a negative 1 plus 4 is what? What kind of 3? Is anything exactly the same on the top and bottom? No, so that's it. When our denominator is the same, we like that, all right? Again, look at 40. Put parentheses around your denominators, and then go ahead and put parentheses around your numerator. Just in case you have a negative sign that you have to remind yourself, oh, I have to distribute it. All right, can you factor or make your denominator any simpler? No, all right. What do you notice about your denominators in number 40? They are the same, they're common, so you rewrite it one time. And then we deal with the numerator. So you have 2x minus 1 plus 1 minus x, and we combine like terms. So I have 2x minus x gives me, what's 2x minus x? 1x, good. And then what's a positive and a negative 1? What's negative 1 plus 1? 0. They're going to cancel out. Perfect. And then what do you have left on the bottom? X plus 3. Notice, guys, I keep putting my binomials in parentheses because I don't want you to do this and go, oh, the x's cancel. Do those x's cancel? No, they do not cancel. That x is stuck with plus 3 in your denominator, so there you go. 2 more. You guys are doing great. All right. I personally, when we have different denominators, I like when they're completely different because it makes my life so much easier. Look at your denominators here. Can you factor them at all? Can you make anything any smaller? No. I see a minus sign, so I'm going to go ahead and change that to a plus and stick the minus right there in front so I don't forget to distribute it. We did a problem a couple days ago, and your common denominator, you had a 2 and a 3. Your common denominator was 6. How did we get 6 from a 2 and a 3? You just multiply them together, right? So we're going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to take our two denominators that are completely different, and we're just going to multiply them together. Stick them together in the denominator. Then you look at each fraction individually. I look at this first fraction right here. In order for the denominators to be exactly the same, it already has an x plus 4. What is it missing? The x minus 1. So now look, they're the same. So when I multiply the bottom by x minus 1, what do I have to do to the top? Multiply by x minus 1. Look at your second fraction. Your second fraction in the denominator has an x minus 1. What is it missing? The x plus 1. So if I multiply the bottom by x plus 1, then I have to do what? Multiply by x plus 4. Yeah, I don't know why I put a 1. Thank you. X plus 4. If I go x plus 4 in the bottom, then I have to multiply the top. Now, guys, look. All three of the denominators are exactly the same. So now that we have a common denominator, we just deal with our numerators. So I have x times x minus 1. And then plus negative 6 times x plus 4. If you want to go ahead and do the multiplication and stuff right here, that's fine. I'm just writing it all out. So again, I'm going to rewrite my denominator. It just stays with me once I figure out what it is. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 1 minus x. Then I have negative 6 times x is negative 6. And then negative 6 times 4 is? I should have an x. What's negative 6 times 4? Negative 24. All right, so keep your denominator. X plus 4, x minus 1. And then we're going to combine like terms. I have x squared. I have a negative 7x and a negative 6x. Did I say 7x? I said the answer. Negative x minus 6x. Negative 7x. And then I have minus 24. And then the last thing we should do is see if, yes, sir. The negative 1 here and a negative 6. Let's see if we can factor this. A times C. Are there factors of negative 24 that'll multiply to give me negative 24, but add to give me a negative 7? 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Is there any combination there that we could add and somehow get a negative 7? No, so then that's it. If it were to factor, then you would need to factor. If there was a GCF, take out the GCF. All right, last question. I have two denominators that are not exactly the same. What should I do with x squared minus 9 before I start to get a common denominator? You should simplify it. Always, always, always simplify. What does x squared minus 9 simplify to? X plus 3 and x minus 3, okay? Now this situation, guys, your denominators are not completely different. When they're kind of the same, we did an example where you had a common denominator was 12. One of the denominators was 6 and one was 12. So you just had to figure out how to make the 6 and 12. Same thing goes here. When you have denominators that are not completely different, when they're completely different, you just take one, take the other one, stick them together. When they have something in common, you look and you say, okay, well, what do they both already have? What do they have in common? X plus 3. So that one's definitely going to be in there. And then you write down the thing that they don't have in common, which is what? X minus 3. Okay, perfect. So look at each fraction individually. You want them both to have the same denominator. Look at the denominator that 2 has right now. Is it already the same? Yes, so just leave it. Look at your fraction of 4. It has the x plus 3. What do I have to multiply it by so it looks exactly the same? X minus 3. What you do to the bottom, guys, you do where? Now they are all the same. So you're left with a 2 plus 4 times x minus 3. Keep your denominator the same. X plus 3, x minus 3. What do I do first? Do I add 2 to something, or what do I do first? We're going to distribute. Good. Distribute here and here. So I have 2 plus, what's 4 times x? 4x, great. And then what? Minus what? 12, good. Is there anything I can clean up? What? Tell me. What's 2 minus 12? Negative 10. Great. So I'm left in my numerator with 4x minus 10 over x plus 3x minus 3. If you guys get here, super pumped. That's awesome. But is there a way I could simplify my numerator just a little bit more? Take a 2 out. There's a GCF. Good. So if I take out that 2, I'm left with what? 2x minus 5. Great. And then on the bottom, x plus 3 and x minus 3. Is there anything that is exactly the same on the top and bottom that I can cancel out? No. So then circle it and be proud of yourself and move along. All right, you guys are ready for this quiz tomorrow. You just have to remember factor, factor, factor. What's the first thing we look for when we factor? GCF. If there's 2 terms, there's a minus sign in the middle. Chances are it could be the difference of perfect squares. Good. Trinomial, you want to multiply a times c, break it into 2 binomials. If you have 4 terms, what do? Group. All right, you guys are all right.